G'day there, it's beer o'clock, and you know what that means? It's time for Beer with Bender. How we going? Alex Bender here, and I hope you've been really enjoying the show so far. We've had the great Simon Haywood, we've had James Abel, and now I'm super excited to introduce a really, really good friend of mine. We first met in Vegas like 6 months ago. Absolutely amazing guy, great marketer. He's in the same team that I'm in the system that we're in, and he's just a super awesome guy. Loves a beer, loves to chat, and it's Joel Dirks. How you going, man?
What's up, buddy? How you doing, Alex? Good to be here, buddy. Thanks for letting me on.
Mate, I'm excited about this. I got my Coopers, best beer in Australia. What do you got yourself, mate?
We got a Keystone Ice. We're talking a low budget, high content, good old American beer right here.
Sounds good, mate. I've never actually had a Keystone before, but so next time we meet up, I'll have to have a Keystone with you, mate.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, you heard of Coors, right?
Yeah, we get Coors over here too.
Yeah, it's the Coors. It's a Coors beer. Same company, you know.
Right, yeah. No worries. Well, we've got plenty more episodes to go through, so I'm guessing someone's going to come up with another kind of Coors beer as well. So I'm excited about that. So, Joel, man, tell everyone that's watching the show a fun fact about you.
Well, let's see. I'm a pilot. I've been a pilot for a long time. I haven't flown in a few years, but I'll be getting back into that real soon. And what's funny about that is I'm also the only pilot buddy of mine that has actually jumped out of a perfectly good airplane. So that's kind of fun.
That is fun, man. You've jumped out of a plane. I'm guessing you had a parachute on.
Yeah, I did. As a matter of fact. And the first time I was actually attached to another dude. So, it was a little bit safer.
It's kind of weird the first time you're told that when you have to jump out, you have to be attached to another dude. But yeah, I'm guessing it would be a lot safer.
What's funny is that's the pilot's credo, right? They call skydivers weirdos because who in their right mind would jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Well, I was dating this chick, for some time, and she bought me for my birthday, she wanted me to go jump out of an airplane because I told her I never would. So I couldn't resist. I did it, and then I ended up doing it a few more times. I mean, it's an incredible thing. It's intense.
No, that's awesome, man.
I suggest it for everybody.
Well, apparently I have to lose some weight before I do it. I think you need to be under a certain weight. And yeah, I drink my beer and I like my fried food much at the moment. But it's something I do want to do.
I think all they'd have to do is make a bigger chute for you, buddy.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, well, I suppose in the movies you see them throw a tank out or something like that. So
right,
you're not quite that heavy.
I think you'd be okay.
So cool. So you're out of all of your pilot mates and all your mates, you're the only one that's jumped out of a plane.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, you're a bit crazy.
I still think I'm nuts. Yeah, and I might be. I don't know. I made it, so it's all good with me.
Yeah, man, you're here to tell a story. That's all good.
Well, I'm in it for the experience.
Yeah, that's something it's on my bucket list somewhere along the way. It's not all the way up there, but it's on that list.
Do it.
So, mate, how did you begin your journey as an entrepreneur?
Well, it's funny how I began was I don't even know, 10 or 12 years ago. I always had this little internal drive to do something not so traditional. So I bought some Melaleuca products. I'm sure a lot of people know who Melaleuca is, but it's this weird, company that I really didn't understand what it was all about, but I tried to do it. It was before, it's like when internet just started to come out. So it was all about making cold calls. You just get a list of a whole bunch of numbers and you just call them. And I ended up, selling it to my aunt, my mom, my grandma, a couple cousins, and that was it, because I honestly couldn't get over the thing I couldn't get over, just picking up the phone and calling all these leads that I had that were given to me by them. So I ended up quitting like 2 months later and never ever went back to it. I never ever did. I never even thought about doing anything online again. I was just like, that's a scam. That's too hard. I don't want to do that. You know, that's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought there was just a bunch of money out there that I could just pick up and haul to the bank, you know. And then what it really was, for the last several years, I've been working as a fish biologist for the feds, for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And I basically would leave my house every week for 7 days, and I'd come home for 7 days, and then I'd leave for 7 days. So I was gone 2 weeks out of every month, which wasn't really good. You know, I didn't like that. I mean, it was good pay and good benefits and stuff like that, but I was missing out on the family time, you know. And then we had the new baby. She just turned 2 last month. So once she came along and I was missing all that time out of her first few months, you know, it started to get at me. It started to be like, okay, I got to figure something else out here. You know, and my mom would be like, honey, that's just what people have to do. That's just part of life. You know, my dad was like, suck it up, boy. You're providing for your family. You're doing good. Like, you're good. Don't worry about it. This is part of it. It sucks for all of us. We all had to do it. My dad was gone, he was gone all the damn time too. You know, I know how it is. I was like, so with fisheries, we basically got our winters off like teachers get their summers off. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I said, okay, honey, I go, I'm gonna figure out how all these knuckleheads are earning all this money online, and I'm gonna try to like figure something out here, you know, so I don't have to go back to work. Like, that's just gonna be it. I'm gonna make it happen. Right now, I've got October, November, December, and January to figure it out. 4 months, figure it out, not go back to work. And you know, essentially, I just like my budget was $300. I was not going to spend more than $300, like, period. I wasn't. And for a couple weeks, you know, I did this, I did that. I learned a bunch of BS stuff. I lost a bunch of money, way more than $300 just from stupid stuff. You know, I was like, just, anyway, I went in, and I don't know how appropriate this is, but I went in and told my wife, I was like, honey, I found it. I found the one. I found the one. And she was like, awesome, finally. You've been dicking around here for weeks and you haven't done anything yet, you know? Like, weeks. Like, I've been working my tail off, you know what I mean? I go, but it's going to cost us more than $300. And she was like, what? I go, we already spent that budget money. I was like, I know, but we need to spend a little bit more than that, you know? And Katie was like, well, what do you mean? And I go, well, we need to shell out $4,000. She was like, what? You must be out of your mind, dude. Are you crazy? Are you kidding? And I just like literally had to sit her down right then and be like, honey, listen, this is, and I had already been, you know, 4 days in to the beginning of the process of what I decided I wanted to do. And I bought the vision. I got it. Like, it made sense to me. I still do. You know what I mean? I'm into it. I love the process. I just had to buckle down, let her know it was going to be okay, and get to work fast. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. I spent the first 4 months just basically learning. You know, this isn't easy. This isn't like something you just make 10 grand in a week and you're all happy and rainbows and unicorns and stuff like that. You know, it's not easy, but that's what I did. And you know, long story short, I didn't go back to work. I have been at home full time since then, and I'm around my kids 24 hours a day all the time when they're not in school, you know, and my wife, you know, she's still at home too. So, I mean, it's familially, it's very conducive to a happy relationship. You know what I mean? So we're a lot happier. She's a lot happier. The kids are a lot happier. I'm here all the time. She's here. They're here. It's just, I couldn't imagine it would be like this, but it is. So that's what got me started, and that's where I'm at now.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's seriously awesome. And yeah, you're seriously making it happen. And yeah, just excited to see all of the stuff that you're going. And you're right. You just need to invest in yourself. Like you were saying, it's like $300. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make $100,000 a year by spending $300. It's like,
Right.
it's just a change in mindset. It's like, okay, what did university cost for anyone to go there? So yeah.
Right. And you don't know what you don't know. So until you actually get into the industry and realize, because I had no clue, I was like, oh, I could start a business for a few $100. Well, yeah, you can, but you're not going to get anywhere. You know what I mean? It's like, you need to you need to get it done. You need to believe in yourself, and you need to find something that is going to work for you. And you need to just believe that if you spend this money, it's going to be worth it. And once you do that, and you really make that jump to believe in yourself that strongly, that I knew that was a lot of money and that we couldn't really afford that. But I also knew that I know what's inside me, and I know what I can make happen. And that's all I needed to know. That's all Katie needed to know too. I mean, she believes in me. I mean, it wasn't easy at first, trust me. There was a few little bumps in the road, as far as she's concerned, but it's working out fine. It's working out okay, and we're figuring it out, and we're still building. It's not like I'm not making $10,000 a month right now either. I'm still like not even close to where I want to be, but I know that I'm well on my way, and that's all I want.
Yeah, that's it, man. Like, yeah, you definitely are on your way. Jeez, yeah, for sure, buddy, for sure. So yeah, huge journey, man, and a long way to go for both of us. I know that, but yeah, man. So who's your most influential person? Like, it could be like your dad, it could be like another entrepreneur, it could be someone in our system that we're in. Who is your most influential person you look up to the most, and why?
Well, of course, mine is my mother. I mean, she's pretty much like driven me, told me the way it is. She doesn't BS me. She just is straight with me. She's always told me when I'm being an idiot, fair enough. She's always told me, when I'm doing good. She's always been encouraging. She's always just been there. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better person, like ever to be my mom, like ever. Yeah, my little brother would tell you the same. It's just, she's very successful. She's just that person. She loves her kids. She taught us everything good. She left most of the bad out of it, besides chasing us around with a wooden spoon every once in a while, but we deserved it.
I bet you did deserve it, man.
I mean, we used to fight like crazy when we were kids, man. We drove her nuts a few times. But that would be my number one. And I also got to hand it to our team. I met several leaders, you being one of them, Paul, Mike, Kevin, Vitaly. I mean, the list goes on and on about everybody at Rob Skinner, all the people in our group within our team, and just helping everybody just selflessly, spending time with us and making sure that we have all the tools that we need to be able to make this stuff happen. Like that was something I'd never known before. I didn't even know that kind of stuff was possible. That kind of just selfless behavior where they are getting something out of it for sure, by nurturing these relationships. But I think what I've grown to know is it's not so much financial to them at this point as it is they're getting some serious emotional payoff from doing all of this. You know what I mean? And I completely appreciate that. And I hold each of those guys, and you included, real close to my cuff. And like, I'm there, I'm like in it. So besides my mom, like the team is just like everybody equally. I mean, I love all you guys and everything that you do and everything that we're doing, and every person that I can help on my way to, it's incredible to me. I just didn't know it was possible. I didn't know it existed.
I know exactly what you mean, man. Our team is freaking amazing. And yeah, like a lot of them have no financial like benefit at all from either of our successes. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So yeah, as a team, as a general rule, our team is amazing. So shout out to our team, the Pipeline Prosperity Alliance. Yeah, man.
Shout out to the PPA.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Righto, man. So have you got yourself a favorite quote? Like we all have a like crazy quotes. I've got some pretty insane quotes, and like you know, like with Paul, he's all every second sentence he's doing, he's quoting someone. Seriously, dude, it's like every second sentence is going to be a quote.
Half of everything he says has already been written by somebody else.
Paul curating content Hutchings.
Yeah, right. There you go. How to not plagiarize and say everything you want to say in one quick course. You know, click here to learn how.
So, no, man. Favorite quote.
Right. I'll tell you what. I actually did a blog post about this probably just a month or two after I started, you know, just over a year ago. And it was about my journey to make the decision to actually do something like this, which was pretty foreign to me, not counting that little thing 10 years ago for a couple weeks or whatever. But Oscar Wilde said this one time: ambition is the last refuge of failure. And I wrote that quote down probably 5 or 6 years ago. I was living out in Colorado at the time. And I wrote it down because, you know, I've had on and off careers, you know what I mean? Like I'm a career jumper. I go 2 or 3 years and then I'm ready to go somewhere else and do something else. And, you know, I just have always been that way. So I haven't been the most loyal worker. You know what I mean? I haven't been the most loyal worker bee for somebody, because after a while I get tired and bored and then I'm out, you know. I always try to move on to something better. Hasn't necessarily always worked out like that, but for the most part it has. So I remember when I was getting down in the dumps one time and I was reading some stuff, and that quote popped out at me, and I wrote it down on a note card and I put it on my bulletin board in my room. And I've carried that card. I still have it. I took a picture of it for that blog post. And the thing is old. It's like been, you know, moved like 4 or 5 times. It's just, but that, it speaks to me. You know, a lot of Oscar Wilde stuff does, but that one, ambition is the last refuge of failure. Like it basically says, you know, you're the one. You're the only one. No one is going to make anything happen ever for you, like except you. Like it's whatever you want, you're going to make happen. If you're not going to do it, it's not going to happen. And I try to program my brain around that quote. Every time I left my room and saw it, you know, every time I came home, I saw it, just like it's burned in my brain. It'll always be my favorite quote from now until forever, because it is what has helped me, without knowing it, subconsciously change my brain a little bit. You know what I mean? Like we know how to do that a little bit more consciously now, but this was before I was into personal development or anything like that. This was just something that I like did just because I knew that meant something, you know. And it's now what, 7 or 8, 9 years later. I don't know how long I've had it, and it's still like that. So yeah, that's my favorite quote, man.
That's a powerful quote. What I'll get off you later on, I'll get you the link. I'll get you to give me the link for the that blog post, and I'll put it in the blog there so people can check that out.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Cool, man. That's awesome. Right, so now we've got a challenge for you, man. The last 2 guys have given me really, really crummy jokes. Like, I'm just going to be honest, right? They suck. So you've got a challenge, man. Well, I need you to go out there and give us a little bit of a better joke. You can't set the standard up to a number 10 straight away, but you got to give us a good joke, man.
Okay, well, I'll give you a short one off the cuff if that's what you want.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. This guy walks into a bar with a piece of asphalt under his arm. He walks up to the bartender and says, "Hey, how about a beer and one for the road?"
That's a lot better. I like it. That's a pretty good comedy joke. So I'll cheers
I don't know,
to that one.
It's kind of short, but I dug that one for some reason.
No, that's brilliant, man. Awesome. Good joke.
Okay,
awesome. So
good.
Now it's time for everyone to get to know who Joel Dirks is with the 10 quick questions with Bender. Are you ready?
Are we on a timer here? I feel pressure all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, there's pressure. There's no timer. I was going to put a timer on it, but Simon on the first episode blew that timer out of the park. So
Okay. Yes, I will be at my best reaction time, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we'll take a quick drink. Right. Okay.
Cheers.
10 quick questions with Bender. Right. Joel, what was your first job?
I was a dishwasher at Bob's Big Boy.
Bob's
I lasted.
Big Boy.
Yeah, it's a burger restaurant. I lasted literally 2 weeks because what happened was I came home the first night, or actually my dad had to pick me up at like 3 a.m. in the morning. Dude, the way that I smelled, the way that I felt, I was soaking wet from head to toe. It was so awful. I literally, it took me 2 weeks to find, because my dad was like, "You're getting a job. You're 16. You're out. You're getting a job." It was just like what we had to do. So it took me 2 weeks job hunting to get a job in a grocery store, being a courtesy clerk, where I got to wear a tie and just pack groceries instead. And that was my job for a long time.
Right, yeah. Cool. Well,
The first job sucked.
Better than Simon's first job. It was picking up horse crap, so that's all good.
Well, yeah, that's I don't know. I think I'd rather pick up horse crap than like do dishwashing. I respect those guys, man. And keep in mind this was over 25 years ago. You know that all this took place. I mean, it was a long time ago, and I don't know, man. I could never do that ever again. I don't care how much you paid me. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just not down with that stuff. Dirty.
All
and
good.
hard.
All good. Right. Yeah. Okay. So, who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man, definitely.
Spider-Man. Cool.
Yeah.
No, he's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Your favorite.
Ever since I was a. Oh, go ahead.
Go on.
I was just gonna say, ever since I was a kid, for some reason, I just had the Spidey thing. I mean, I'm wearing red right now. I don't know if that's subconscious or not, but I think it's my daughter's favorite superhero now too. By the way.
Oh, cool. All good.
Yeah.
All right. So Spider-Man. Okay. So, what's your favorite sport?
To play or to watch?
Whatever.
I'm a huge football fan. I'm a huge Seattle Seahawks fan, and most people that know me already know that. The Super Bowl yesterday was cool. I lived in Colorado for several years, so Broncos are my number 2 team. I was actually there when they won in 97 and 98. So if the Seahawks aren't in it, I'll go for the Broncos every time. So they were the underdog. They were kind of like, nah, Cam's going to whoop them, all this stuff. And we were very happy in the Dirks household yesterday, or Sunday, I mean.
Yeah, all good, man. Yeah, so well, I caught on a little bit of the Super Bowl, but in Australia, we're not huge on the American football, but it just went for so bloody long. Man, like if you sat down there and drank beer, you wouldn't be able to remember the last quarter anyway.
Well, you have to gauge yourself pretty good, and us Americans, we understand what goes into a football game and how to pace ourselves throughout it. So we're okay. Not that there haven't been a few where you're kind of wondering about that fourth quarter. I mean, it's happened. Don't get me wrong. but we try, especially a game as important as Sundays.
Yeah, well, it was a big game. Yeah, I watched about half of it. Yeah, but that's just me. But that's all good. So your favorite team then Is that the Seahawks?
Definitely the Seahawks. They're up there, right? You know, the Mariners are number 2, Seattle baseball. So I'm also a big Red Sox fan. I'm a huge Cubs fan as far as baseball goes. And that's a lot of people will be like, well, you can't be a Mariners fan and a Red Sox fan and a Cubs fan. That doesn't make any sense. I have my personal reasons, and we'll just leave it at that.
No worries, man. We'll leave that one at that then. That's all good. Okay, we'll change it up a bit. What's the last song you listened to?
the Super Bowl halftime show.
That was terrible.
That last crappy song that I listened to. I mean, as a matter of fact, I need to do some ear washing here and like get something else on so I can like forget about that.
I think everyone needs to forget about that. Right, yeah, okay, the Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah, great. Okay,
I know that's awful. I'm more of a you know, if I am a big music guy, you know, I'm somewhat of a musician. I'd call myself a little bit less than I used to be, but I love music. I love country. I love hard rock. I love metal bands. Like I get the diversity runs wild with me, and no one can ever really figure it out. But that's the way it is. So I like a wide variety of bands, man. And I used to listen to them a lot more than I do now since I've been on this whole personal development kick. You know what I mean? Music is not as runs rampant in my ears as it used to.
Yeah, I'm the same, man. I'm exactly the same. Yeah, for sure. No worries, dude. So what was the last movie you watched? Do you watch movies? Everyone watch movies, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. I just watched we have this device at our house where we can watch movies when they're in the theater, like right here at our house. I don't know if it's cheating or whatever it is, but
I'd say it would be cheating.
But it's legal, I hear, and I mean I bought it online, and I don't know. I'm not going to defend myself, and I don't know. I guess a lot more people might know now. You know what I mean? But we the last one that I really liked that I remember very good was The Martian. I really, really liked The Martian, man. That was a great flick.
It was, man. I only watched that last week, and man, like I wasn't expecting it to be as good as what it was.
Yeah, me too. Same here. I'm like, as a scientist for one, as a biologist for two, as just a like curious guy who like wonders about that kind of stuff. It was just like all these little things were right up my alley. And Matt Damon is funny as hell, and I really like him too. So. I was just loving it, dude. Every minute of that movie was just awesome.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love that too. That's brilliant. Yeah. Rightio, dude. Well, what do you hate doing?
The dishes.
Don't we all? It's in our genetics.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll just leave that one alone.
Okay.
Okay, so as an entrepreneur, you must read books. What's the one book that you're reading right now?
Right now I'm reading this.
Influence. It's a good book.
It's it'll be my second time through. I read it the first time on my iPad. So, or most of it, you know. Now I'm working on it again. I'm also reading The Secret Code of Success by Noah St. John.
Yep.
And like both, and that's my second time through with that too. Both those books are just amazing. I mean, there's so many good ones out there. You can never just like, you know, pick one. But as of right now, those are blowing my mind.
Yeah, brilliant. I haven't been all the way through Influence. I think I've read the first couple of chapters, but yeah, it's about time I went back through it and went through it because Dave Wood always talks about it, and well, if he suggested it, must be a good book.
Well, and it's really simple stuff too. It's like as you're reading the words, you're realizing that you've been doing exactly what it's suggesting the whole time, but until you recognize, that there's a reason behind what you're doing, even though you don't know what the reason is, it just starts clicking, and you start like, I would highly suggest like going back through that. I have to read a couple pages at a time, like over and over, because you're like, what, is it really that easy? Like, is it really just that simple? And it is, because, a lot of it in the beginning is just about human instinct and the way that we do things. So it's just it's a mind blower, man. I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Rightio. Okay. What did you want to be when you were a kid? What did you want to do when you grew up?
The only thing I ever wanted to do was be an animal trainer.
Animal trainer? What, like in a like a circus?
Well, I think it was more of like zoo like thing. But that was when I was really young. I just remember, like, I've got some old stuff my mom has that says I want to be an animal trainer, and I'm a big animal guy. I mean, I'm a biologist, so I did eventually get into animal stuff anyway. I mean, I've been working with fish for freaking 10 years. So it's a little bit different. But, animal trainer, I don't even think I knew what it meant when I wanted to be that. You know what I mean?
No, that's all good. It's all good, man. Well, yeah, like you said, you're still working with you were working with fish and everything like that. So it's always been around animals and everything and biology and all that. Yeah. So that's all good.
Yeah, and I love my dogs. I love, I mean, we grew up around animals. I mean, my mom used to think I was half reptile because I always came home with snakes in my pockets. You know what I mean? So, well, we don't have as many poisonous ones up here as you do down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can just imagine. Snakes. Oh yeah, he's a king brown. Bring it home to mom.
Yeah. Here, mom. Ooh, sorry. No, mostly just bull snakes and racers and garter snakes and stuff like that. I mean, I have had a few pet rattlesnakes, but that's when I was in college and an idiot. So.
Wow. Okay, I'm not even going to go on that. Yeah, I'm not a snake person at all.
Oh, I'm a huge snake person. That was my whole. If I could have made money working with snakes, I would have done it in a minute. There's just no money in it. I mean, so that leads you to the other thing, like money. Like, you got to make money, right?
Yeah, well, you're not a snake oil salesman, so it's all good.
Right.
So okay, the last question then. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Gosh, that's a really tough one, because I don't know if I should pick somewhere that I've never been, or if I could just pick like the place that I know was the awesomest place I've ever been and want to go back there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We'll go with let's go with the middle of the mountains in Colorado. That's where I'd want to live. That would be my number one choice.
Well, like somewhere like Colorado Springs or something like that, or?
No, that's on the edge of the mountains on the east side. We're back up in the mountains by like Eagle Vale, Aspen, all those sorts of places. But not necessarily there so I can ski, but just to have, my 70 acres of my own with my little cabin, my own little lake or stream or something, my family, my animals. Like, it would be wonderful. It would be wonderful. I'd love it. Up at like 9,000 feet,
That's very cool, man. Very, very cool. Now, that's the 10 quick questions with Bender, but I've got one more question for you, and it's been at me since we started this. Okay. Why do you have a stripper pole behind you?
Well, you have to ask my wife. No, I'm just kidding. This is not a stripper pole.
What are we going on?
No, it's actually see where I live. I'm in an 8-story house, and this is the only way that we can get from the top story to right where I'm at on the bottom floor in one quick, one foul swoop.
8-story place. Wow. That's amazing. I love that story. And now I'm so glad I asked.
You really believe that?
No, not at all. I know it's a stripper pole. But that's okay. I don't want to see you do your little show.
Hey, man, it's not a stripper
and if it's something that Katie does, then that's just for you guys. It's okay.
Let me see if I can show you the rest of it.
I see that's a hoop up top. It's all good. Oh, we got
see. It's a shelving thing. It's just some shelves. This is just one of the legs, but you can edit that out if you want.
No, man, this is raw. This is all good. Brilliant.
Katie!
Oh, good, dude. No worries, man. Well, how can people connect with Joel Dirks? Like, I'll put this on the on the blog and everything like that. So, yeah, if anyone wants to get in contact with Joel Dirks, how are they to do that?
You can get me on email at joeldirks@gmail.com. Excuse me, those beers are starting to kick in. You can get me on Facebook at Joel P. Dirks. Look for the picture of me by the pool. It's a nice one. Not Joel Dirks, Joel P. Dirks. My Twitter is at Joel P. Dirks. And on Google Plus, you could probably just search Joel P. Dirks, and I'll be there.
No worries, man. What about your blog? You want anyone to check out your blog?
Oh, yeah. My blog is joelpdirks.com. Imagine that. www.joelpdirks.com. Go to my blog. My blog is specifically for newer people. I mean, we can all say newbies if we want, but it's a lot of beginning information, for people that are just getting out started, a lot of resources and tips and tricks and informational videos and instructional videos and stuff like that they can find there too.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. So, yeah, I'll put everything in the blog there on how they can connect with you, get on your blog, get on all of your social media. So that's awesome, dude. Yeah, so
Very cool, man.
That's pretty much us with Beer with Bender today, mate. Like, I'm so pumped that you're part of it. Thank you very much.
Me too. Thank you so much, buddy. I loved it. This was great, Alex.
Yeah. Well, the show's just getting started, so yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And well, today's my first episode of being clean shaven. How about that? A little bit different. Well, what do you think, Joel?
I think you look great, buddy. I mean, you looked great before, but you still look great.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate you taking the time to be part of the show. And yeah, man, everyone out there, be on the lookout for the next episode here with Beer with Bender. But yeah, thanks a lot, Joel. And yeah, buddy, I'll speak to you later on.
Thanks, Alex. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
Cheers. Hey there, I hope you really enjoyed that interview, another episode of Beer with Bender. Now, you know what? You know the best way to get notified of the next Beer with Bender episode is to subscribe to this YouTube channel, right? The YouTube channel of Beer with Bender. So what I'm going to do is, hey, I'm going to drink this beer, and by the time I've finished this beer, you should have subscribed to the channel. So go and do this while I chug this beer, right? Cheers. Have a great day. See you on the next episode.